Hi, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to take a quick look at the Dart World or DW Piranha Razor 90% tungsten darts. Very quick backstory on this. I recently bought some of their Challenger darts, and these ones are brass but kind of chrome plated, or at least silver plated to some degree, and they looked really attractive. They've got quite a lot of detailed machining on there and they flew beautifully, so do check out the video. And as I say, long and the short of it, I was that impressed with those particular darts for the price. Then I've also gone and bought some other brass darts here. They're flashbacks in 24 grams, which are real bruisers, so I'd like to look at them at some point in a future video. But having looked at the brass ones, I thought I'd really like to try some of their tungsten darts. So today we've got these Piranha Razor 90% tungsten, and they just look really pretty. I've got some other ones of theirs lined up as well, actually, for the future. So it's all very well looking fantastic, but do these ones fly well as well? So let's find out today. So these ones come with the barrels and indeed the flights. There's 3 sets of flights, 3 sets of shafts, and indeed a point sharpener and a bottle opener. So if you're going out to your friends, you'll be all right with the stubbies there. So let's just open these up real quick and see what we get then. And as before with the brass darts, the packaging is adequate. It's perfectly fine, decent enough quality, shows you what you get. And inside we've got a DW brochure here, and it showcases some of the products on there. It looks really attractive. Also tells you a little bit about the different parts of the board if you're a beginner, and the different parts, the names of the darts, plus a few ideas and rules for various dart games as well. So as I say, everything from the beginner onwards. So we'll put that bit of packaging to one side and take a look at the darts themselves. Now let's have a look. Oh wow, gosh, these are nice. These are very pretty darts. Let's see if I can bring this up for you. So we've got a fixed steel point in there. I'm guessing it's about 30mm, and wow, that's gorgeous. So there's a tapered nose, really slender dart. This particular one is a 23 gram that you'll see just there, 16-piece set, and it's got the spinny shafts as well. Nice. Okay, look at that. So there's you can see that spinning just there, so that should stop or help with deflections and stuff like that. Wow, very nice. Okay, so the barrel itself then looks nice and straight. God, it's got some heft to it, really nice. It looks very slender, very straight. There's a couple of deeper ring cuts here, and these aren't smooth sections. These are, we've got like a nano grip. If you have a listen, there you go. So there's like a nano grip to that. Oh wow, and quite an aggressive grip on the front as well, like a shark grip, like a reverse kind of cut on that. Very nice. All right. Oh dear, these really are lovely lovely looking darts. Okay, I'm waffling on a bit here, but it's kind of the first impressions is always quite nice. So let's have a look in this little box here. Then we have so there's your point sharpener on the end just there, and indeed obviously your bottle opener. Very nice, all on a keychain as well. Cool. Okay, and it should be as described. No, I must have misread that. It says 3 shafts and 9 flights. My bad, I thought there were 9. I think it's because the brass ones have, the brass ones have 9 shafts in there, but only one set with the tungsten darts, and they are the spinners, as I say, metal shafts with a taper as well. Nice. Okay, right, so there's the flights in there. Here are these beautiful darts. I'll give you a bit of a closer look at them while I'm talking, but essentially it looks like quite a straight dart with a taper to the nose, and then we've got a couple of almost like nano grip sections there, and then a smooth coated section with the logo on in the middle, and also a coated section on the nose there with the reverse grip. So throw some at the board and see how we get on. So here we go then with the Dart World Piranha Razor. Just got this running through in double speed. And a bit of a story of two halves, which I'll elaborate on at the end of this video. But you can see the darts are flying fairly well, but they weren't really set up for me out of the box, so I was making a few amendments to my throw to try and get them to go as best as possible and do them justice. But you can see they were kind of a little bit hanging like bats and sort of landing a bit low, if not upside down, occasionally kind of falling out as well. So I did wonder if maybe it was perhaps the weight of them, or the points, the shiny points, or maybe my board being worn out, because it is due to be replaced soon. So I just didn't quite have the confidence out of the box with these. You can see the accuracy is not quite there. So I thought, right, let's have a quick psychological reset. Let's rotate the board real quickly and try it with a setup that I'm more accustomed to give these a real fair chance, because ultimately I think they've got a lot more potential. So tried quickly with some K-Flex just here, and you can see that they're flying really nicely now. They've got a lot more kind of purpose about them, and they're tending to go where I'm putting them rather than where I'm hoping they're going to go. So then I changed again to a short stem with a L-style dimple flight, and there's 100, and again these are kind of selected highlights in the sort of 5 or 10 minutes I was playing with them, but you can see the grouping is now starting to come back. Everything's far more direct. It seems to have a lot more confidence, and I've got a lot more confidence in my throw as a result of that. I can start to settle back down a little bit and enjoy the darts, because ultimately these really were beautiful. And I have to say, as soon as I changed the setup on these, it really did put a smile on my face, and I've really enjoyed just throwing these just now. They're great fun, and I always knew they had the potential there. I just needed to change the setup for my personal taste, and once I'd done that, I won't look back, and I'll definitely be using these darts a lot more in the future. So there you have it then, the Dart World Piranha Razor darts. What do I think of them? In a word, wow. In 2 words, love them. But that's probably not much of a review, so let me just embellish a little bit if I may. Overall, wonderful darts, beautiful looking, exquisitely machined. I mean, they feel amazing. And I have to say, there wasn't much information about these darts. I bought them kind of on a whim because I was that impressed with the brass darts that Dart World make, and I thought, well, I'll give them a go. Now, when they arrived, they've got longer points than I usually would use, and they are a standard sort of smooth silver point, and I normally go for something a little bit rougher, not overly aggressive, but something with a bit more bite in it. The grip itself, nano grip, is very grippy and grippier than I normally go for. They come pre-installed with aluminium spinny stems, and again I normally use slightly shorter stems. These ones are more sort of short plus or maybe intermediate on the metal ones that come with it. So overall the whole setup wouldn't suit me at all, to be fair, out of the box, and it did show a little bit when I started using the darts out of the box, as I tried to do. I felt that I couldn't really control them in the way I'd like. Sometimes they were a little bit like bats, going in a little bit upside down and falling out on occasion. And to be fair, my board is literally just about to be replaced. I did rotate it halfway through the test just to see if it made any difference, but I was finding that I was having to adjust my throw a little bit, adjusting my elbow height, adjusting the power of the follow through, moving around the oki a little bit, just trying a few things to get them to work. And I could get them to work, and they were flying really well, but obviously that meant sort of compromising my natural throw, for what good that is anyway. But I found that by putting something on that I was more used to, like a shorter stem, and replacing the flight, all of a sudden they just came alive. I mean, they were just beautiful. They just, you know, they were going in a beautiful straight line. They were controlled. They felt like they were following each other. They were going in at just a nice angle as well. And, you know, they were just so much fun to play with. Really enjoyed them. And yeah, from there on in, I think the only problem I've got with them is that they're so beautiful. I was just going to keep them all pretty on display, or, you know, in my collection. And now I've got a horrible feeling I might have to start using them quite a lot, because they are just so nice to play with. So yeah, I mean, what else can I say? That if you're looking for something that's fairly grippy, but slender, and you know, quite quite sort of small in the fingers really, then these are lovely darts. Interestingly enough, they're quite grippy, as I say, with a nano grip, grippier than I would normally go for. But because once they were set up and had the flights on that I would normally use, obviously DW do have their own nylon flights and their own nylon stems as well, but I didn't have any to hand, so I used some Target ones, but similar performance obviously with those. But I felt that even the grip started to work for me as well, because I had so much confidence in the release that all of a sudden I was able to let the dart go, whereas before, whilst in its original setup, while I was trying to do all these different things to try and get the dart to go where I wanted it to, I was finding that the grip was getting compromised as well, and I was sending them a little bit left and right. But once the back end of the dart was adjusted to my personal preference, all of a sudden everything just worked. So just goes to show how important tuning them for yourself goes. But again, none of that is anything at all against the dart. The actual barrel itself is sublime, beautifully machined, absolutely exquisite, looks gorgeous, feels great. And obviously once you've tuned it to your own throw, absolutely faultless, and I'm really looking forward to using them a lot more in the future. So impressed in fact that I bought these Piranha razors because I was so impressed with their brass darts. I'm now that impressed with their tungsten darts that I've gone and ordered some different styles of tungsten dart from DW as well. Now, I'm not sponsored by them at all. This is purely things that I'm just finding out and enjoying and sharing with you, purchases I've made with my own money, so I've got no kind of bias at all. But yeah, lovely darts, so I'm happy with them. I've waffled on enough. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Check out some of my other 10-minute review videos on the channel as well. Please subscribe, and I'll be back soon. You guys stay safe, and I'll be back, and I'll see you soon. All the best for now. Bye bye.